Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome to another video for EVE Echoes from inside the April Balance Update test server. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the changes to shield boosters. Small and medium shield boosters had some changes in the patch notes that I wasn't overly sure about. I was concerned that this didn't really reflect what shield tanking was supposed to be, and oh boy was I wrong. Let it never be said that the captain cannot admit when he makes a mistake. I made a mistake in those patch notes when I was a little bit concerned about this. I absolutely adore this change. Now before we jump in on this, as usual, if you enjoy this video, let me know by hitting like on it, and if you want to see more of the test server updates, hit subscribe, make sure you ding that notification bell so you will get alerted when a video goes live. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on these changes as well. There is so much going on here on the April Balance Update test server. I want to know what you guys have been up to. I want to know what changes you like. I want to know what changes you dislike. And do make sure you are giving that feedback to the developers as well. It's important that they get an accurate depiction of what we feel about these changes. And again, I beg you, please do not troll the developers. There's going to be enough stuff to go through without having to weed out what is just stupid little children just trying to be funny and really not. This is an opportunity for us to make the game better. Please try and act like, sensible adults for once. You know who I'm talking to here. Anyway, all that said and done then, let's jump into looking at shield boosters. Again, we're going to compare these to how they are on live. I'm going to put these up side by side so you can see the changes. Let's start first of all, with a Republic Fleet small shield booster. Now, in the center of the screen here, you can see I have the version on the test server. On the left, we have the the current version on live. Now, both of these still have the same power grid requirement of 5 megawatts, but you'll notice the shield boost amount, the activation cost, and the activation time have now changed. Now, the first thing to note is that all of these have gone down. The activation cost and the activation time have halved. This means they actually use the same amount of capacitor that they did before. Ultimately, 17.3 gigajoules is basically half of 34.5 gigajoules. Obviously, 2 seconds is half of a 4-second activation time. They cycle a lot faster now, but they use about half of the capacitor that they used to. This then combines with the shield boost amount here going to 53 down from 85. Now that is a drop of that's a drop to about 62%. That means the shield boost amount is 62%, the activation cost is 50%, and the activation time is 50%. That means this is a buff overall. The fact that they are cycling twice as fast but using half as much capacitor makes them equal, but the shield boost amount being more than half of what it was means this is overall a boost. And it's actually a really good one. It is amazing to watch how quickly these cycle now and how quickly your shield starts jumping back up. This feels exactly how shield tanking should be. There's a reason why almost every cruiser and battle cruiser tries to fit a large shield booster currently on live, and that's because those are the only versions that actually feel like shield boosting should. They use a lot of capacitor to give you a lot of shield back quickly. The small and mediums didn't do that. The smalls, as you can see here, now definitely do. But what about the mediums? Let's go a little bit further down and see how those compare. It's worth noting that whilst I scroll down here, I'm not going to be going down to large because those did not change. Here we now have the Republic Fleet Medium Shield Booster. Now again, if I pull up the version as it is on live, you can see they still have that same power grid requirement as before. You'll notice that the activation cost of 155 has dropped down to 77.7 gigajoules again. That's about half of what it was, and the activation time of 6 seconds has dropped down to 3 seconds. Again, half of what it was. They activate twice as quickly, but use half the capacitor, so that balances out. That's pretty much the same as it was. The shield boost amount of 177 is 62% of the previous 284. This means, again, the medium shield booster now cycles faster, uses effectively the same capacitor as it did before, but it now boosts more than it did per second overall. Again, this now means, and I've taken a Hurricane out and used the medium shield boosters here. I normally use a large shield booster on a Hurricane. I'm going to be honest, I still think that if you can fit a large shield booster, that is a good, a good thing to do on a lot of these ships. But in cases where you can't, this is a really nice buff. Not only is it a buff just in the sense that it makes your ship better, it's also a buff in feel. And to me, that's really important. Like, there are discussions about how balance should actually be. And there was someone at Blizzard who once said, I can't remember exactly who it was, I've got the quote, but I don't remember who said it, that actually the feel of balance is more important than the actual balance. Like, you're never going to hit pure balance. It's physically impossible in any game that is not completely equal on both sides. If the game is not symmetrical, like, for example, using Street Fighter, Ryu versus Ryu, then that's easy to balance. But as soon as you add differences to characters or ships or whatever, pure, perfect balance is absolutely impossible. Yeah, you should aim for it, but you shouldn't try and, at all costs, achieve it. You want it to feel like it's balanced, even if the numbers don't necessarily agree with that. And there is a brilliant story from a Call of Duty dev on this one. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's a really interesting story that works actually in a lot of situations like this. In one of the particular Call of Duty games, they were finding that the shotgun just wasn't being used. Basically, people were complaining that the shotgun was underpowered and nothing, it just didn't feel like it was doing as much damage as a shotgun should. When they went into the files and looked at it, actually the shotgun was probably overtuned and a little bit actually up from where it should be. So, they released a balance patch that literally listed in the notes that the shotgun had been changed to feel more effective. Ultimately, people loved this. Almost unanimously, the feedback was, this is much better. This should have been how it was. Now, according to the story, they actually slightly nerfed the shotgun. They just redid the sound of it. Ultimately, that led to people feeling that the shotgun was actually meatier, even though it had technically been nerfed. So, game feel is important. So the fact that shield boosters now actually cycle so much faster and you can watch your shield jump up that little bit faster, it feels better. This feels so much different now to armor tanking. I mean, heck, you can see there, we've got a 3-second activation time with the 177, was it 177? Sorry, lost me numbers. 77.7, 3 seconds over 77.7. If we look at an armor repairer, sort of an equivalent there, you can see that that's now half the speed of an armor repairer, and it is significantly more capacitor. Again, it doesn't even balance out here. The armor now really uses a lot less capacitor. It's a bit slower, but it is a bigger boost to the armor. This is what I like. Armor and shield are now actually moving away from each other and beginning to feel different. I'm not just talking about like be different in regards to numbers. I'm talking about when you actually put these on a ship and activate them, it feels different. Armor tanking and shield tanking feel completely different on the test server here. I can't really explain it better than that. I mean, you can see the stats and you can understand that things are cycling twice as fast, but when you actually try this, it just feels so good. So I'm hoping this is a change that is going to stay on live. When you guys who aren't in the test server get to try this, let me know what you think. And I know this video is a little bit wishy-washy. I'm talking a lot about feel rather than just numbers. It's because that's important to me, and I love how this feels. You might disagree with me, but let me know in the comment section down below. Otherwise, folks, that's it for today on the shield booster changes. It is a buff overall, and it actually feels amazing. Anyway, let me know how you're getting on with all of this, folks. Let me know what changes you're enjoying on the test server. Otherwise, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden!